Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we are going to answer one of the most frequently asked questions we get here at ENT Associates of Atlanta. Let's break this down. First off, humidifiers come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes, from the very large whole house systems all the way down to the little tabletop units that you might use on a desk or bedside table. They also come with a wide range of features and can heat their mists or the water that they are putting out into the air to various different temperatures depending on the type of unit that you buy. So let us talk about what the different types of humidifiers are, and then we go through what you should look for. First off, most of the humidifiers that are sold are what we call portable cool mist humidifiers. Some humidifiers propel a warm mist into the air, and some can switch between warm and cool mists. Some units simply boil water and release that steam into the room. First, we're going to go over the whole house humidifiers, then we're going to move on to the tabletop units. About 4% of the humidifiers sold in the United States are systems that can humidify the whole house. These are typically installed by HVAC or heating, ventilation, and air conditioning professionals, so these can be pretty expensive. These whole house humidifiers connect directly to the water lines in your home and usually have filters that need to be replaced at least twice a year. So this can become expensive over time, but if you are interested in a whole house humidifier, make sure to ask your HVAC specialist about the bypass humidistat feature. This will allow you to turn the humidifier off when you are using it, such as during the summer months. Also, ask about humidification, not just for the winter, but also for year-round. Now let's move on to the tabletop units, and first we're going to talk about impellers. This type of cool mist humidifier is driven by a small motor that draws water up through the unit. The water goes up through a spinning disc, sometimes called an impeller, and that propels it through a mesh screen, creating a fine mist that gets dispersed into the room. Impellers tend to be pretty quiet, but they can get pretty heavy, especially when they're full of water. Also, they have moving parts, so if you have pets or kids running around the house, there is a risk of them getting injured. Impellers also require regular cleaning to prevent mold and bacteria buildup, and they don't perform well in very cold environments. Finally, these units can only effectively humidify a small space at a time. So if you need to humidify more than one room, you would need multiple humidifiers. The next type of humidifier is called an evaporator. An evaporator is another type of cool mist humidifier. They're actually the most common type of humidifier that you can buy. These devices contain a fan and a wick. When you fill the unit with water, the wick becomes wet. The fan then blows cool air through the wick. As the air passes through the wet wick, it picks up moisture and then releases it into the room. It's that simple. The wick acts like a sponge. Evaporators work well in rooms with cold air returns as long as there isn't a cold air return directly blowing on the humidifier. Just like impellers, evaporators require regular cleaning, and they don't do well in cold temperatures. However, they are less prone to spilling water than impellers because they don't have any moving parts. Next are ultrasonic units. Ultrasonic humidifiers can blow either warm or cool mists. Instead of a fan or impeller, ultrasonic humidifiers use a diaphragm to disperse their mists. An ultrasonic humidifier has a metal or ceramic diaphragm that sits just below the waterline. The unit vibrates that diaphragm at a high frequency, which is too high for humans to hear. The vibration creates tiny water droplets that get dispersed into the air. Ultrasonic units are usually quieter than evaporators or impellers. They're also good for plants because the mist tends to stay in suspension in the air longer, giving your plants a chance to absorb that extra moisture. Just like other types of humidifiers, ultrasonic humidifiers need regular cleaning. But unlike the other types, they don't have moving parts, so the risk of injury is lower. If you have pets or kids running around the house, ultrasonic humidifiers can also heat the mist that they produce. You can buy models that have a single temperature setting or ones that allow you to choose between multiple temperatures. Another type of humidifier you can buy is simply called a steam humidifier. Steam humidifiers are the simplest type of humidifier. They simply boil water and release that steam into the room. These portable units are often inexpensive, but it is important to note that studies have not confirmed whether steam humidifiers are effective at treating sinus issues. So now that you know the different types of humidifiers out there, what should you look for in a humidifier? There are a few important factors to consider. First off, think about how many rooms you want to humidify. If you want to humidify your entire house, then you'll probably need to install a whole house humidifier. That's going to run off your HVAC system. If you only want to humidify 1 or 2 rooms at a time, then you can use a portable humidifier. The size of the area you want to humidify will also help you decide what kind of humidifier to buy. For example, if you have a large room, you may need a humidifier that produces more moisture than a smaller unit. The climate you live in is another important factor. If you live in a dry climate, you may need a humidifier that can put more moisture into the air. Finally, think about the features that are important to you. For example, if you have pets or kids running around the house, you may want to buy a unit that doesn't have any moving parts. If you're looking for something that's easy to move from room to room, you may want to buy a smaller, lighter unit. So what is the bottom line on humidifiers? Well, humidifiers can help alleviate some sinus symptoms, but they aren't a one-size-fits-all solution. There are lots of different kinds of humidifiers available, so take your time to find one that meets your needs. Whether you have a whole house humidifier or a tabletop unit, you'll still need to do some maintenance. You should clean your humidifier regularly according to the manufacturer's instructions. This will prevent mold and bacteria from growing inside the unit. If you have a cool mist humidifier, you can disinfect it by wiping down the unit with a solution of 50-50 white vinegar and water. If you have a steam humidifier, you can disinfect it by boiling vinegar in the unit. After boiling the vinegar, let the unit cool down completely before handling it. We hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.